Me. It says I'm live. Sup, mother truckers? How is everyone doing this fine evening? I'm back once again with a big old series breakdown. Loud versus PSG to kick off the evening. Then CFO Team Wales is our follow-up series. You may notice not wearing a nice shirt today. Instead, I've got the G2 Worlds jersey finally showed up today. And you know, it isn't a izlogic.business jersey without the I'm not on screen. You can kind of see it. The izlogic.33 on the back. Kind of nice, kind of funny that it's got double izlogic.33 on it. It's a bit weird that there's no, like, support icon. So I'm pretty sure it was meant to have that appear on it, but hey. Here's what it is. Let me just quickly have a look. I haven't looked at it. Let me just check that real quick. But yeah, it came today. I was expecting this one to come before the big Worlds box we got yesterday. But, yeah. It is what it is, and then we get them both. Oh. It's the number or the position. That's kind of yikes, to be honest. Why would you do that? You could have made a bit more money having the roll on, like, the shoulder. Or even the front, like here. Above the sponsors, just having the support role, like icons. But I'm pretty sure they probably wouldn't have been allowed that. Regardless, this is neither here nor there. You can probably hear that I'm starting the loud series stream. You would be right. I'm getting myself ready for this best of 3. So we'll skip to there. Get the enhanced bitrate. That sounds coolio for this. I'm also trying to hit pause and it wouldn't work. So there's something. Yeah, that's a new thing then. So, let me just get this cough out my system. There we go. Let's get into today's opening series. Loud PSG. And obviously yesterday we covered PSG. And we covered Loud Day 1. Kind of an interesting series from both teams. They showed a lot of fortitude. Maple being the standout star on PSG, with Junjai in a very powerful position for the team. Regardless of that, let's get into today's draft. Nocturne removed, Jace removed. We probably will see some other big powerful picks like the Poppy, Talia, Ori. Also options here to be banned out, something that Maple would go defaulting to, I would feel, if they're allowed through. You've also got the Rakan, Jarvan, also readily available to either team. Xayah as well. So there is picks that usually find their way into draft up and available, and they're more than likely going to be in this first rotation of picks. Last ban for PSG is the Kaiser, and you do kind of feel Loud are probably going to have to throw a ban down there themselves. I think banning Desire would be beneficial, or the Rel. Rel obviously is a typical red side ban, so if that goes through here, it's definitely going to be a first rotational pick. And it's allowed through. Rumble instead going to be removed from Arzi's hands. If I remember correctly, he performed very well on that pick, playing on red side for that as well. So PSG aren't going to be getting that massive champion. It does allow Xayah to be coming through in the first rotation, but I think Loud's response is either going to be Rel Renekton or Sedge Renekton. There's a different setup that teams can go towards, but I think Rel has to come through, and Renekton Sedge. I think Renekton has to be a first pick for Robo. He showed a lot of success on it during the first series. And it's actually going to be the Rakan denying the Lovers duo. This is kind of interesting, because now the Rel gets responded to by PSG. They get to lock that one in. Or they take the Sejuani. They take the Sedge, deny the combination of Renekton Sedge. I think that would be ideal for PSG to do here. However, that is just fantasizing picks. But Rel also can be played support, so Rel Sedge is also a good option here for PSG. I think that would be the most ideal, because that would then kind of force Loud to go for Jarvan as a pick. Or you take the Jarvan, they go Sedge. Oh, this combination. There's a lot of flex here, and I think Jarvan actually makes more sense than Sedge now. Because Jarvan technically is a flex in its own right. We've seen Jarvan being played in the support role before. I'm not saying it's going to be in this game, but it's still very much an option for PSG. And in theory, that second rotation is going to be very much a mystery for Loud to go into. So you kind of have to expect them to pick a bit more safe with their rotation. Now, last pickup for this phase was the Sivir. Obviously, we said they need safety, because that is a lot of dive on PSG side of things. I'm also going to apologize for the noise you're going to hear for a few seconds. I'm just moving some headphones that namely are the ones that are used to get the sound. For me, I'm just hearing some really not nice noise. So there we go. Just close them off. Now, as rotations comes to a close, bans are flowing in thick and fast. Jax and Kennen removed by Loud. PSG removing junglers in Lee Sin and Viego. I like this. You do kind of have to expect the Sejuani for Croc. But PSG are kind of forcing his hand into that anyway. You would have honestly banned it out, but they instead removed the carry-orientated jungle picks away from Croc. And it does allow PSG to be aggressive while forcing Loud into a difficult situation. Now, personally, I think that this draft so far has favoured the PSG squad, as they've got the flexibility, they've got dive, they've got a safe AD. It's more combinations with the picks. I do feel if Nico comes through, Ori will be the response by Loud, because you have essentially a very, very strong ball carrying comp. And while you want to play safe, your re-engage is actually very, very massive if you're Loud here, who I think probably will try to play for the aggression late for essentially the team fights. Now, PSG's last lock-in is Gnar. Gnar into Renekton is an old-school counter. Well, I say old-school. It's a counter that's been in the meta for a while, but Gnar hasn't really seen play for a while, as Talia is the last lock-in for Loud. Tanoin's not wanting to pilot the Ori, which is surprising. To say the least, I personally would have preferred that. Do you think the mobility of that backline, Nico, who, yes, can go for Rocket Belt and get some form of movement, and the clone does provide some distraction more so than protection. I do think that, however, Ori would be more beneficial. Instead, Loud have this sort of awkward comp that can engage okay, but they can't really peel too heavily. And that's going to be an issue, considering the fact that PSG have a lot of heavy engage picks, and that, I think, hasn't really been dealt with well. As that guy has a corset on, he looks like a pirate more than anything. But as we prepare for game number 1, time to discuss starts for these two teams. More specifically, junglers are where my focus goes to. Gonna be honest, red side start would be the most ideal for both junglers. Get the early buff, roam up to the top side. Because in the first series for Loud, a lot of focus, a lot of prep was done to allow Robo to carry. So you kind of have to expect PSG to kind of subdue what Robo wants to do. Not allow him to make plays. And the fact is, with the 3-man stack on its top half of the map, they kind of want to secure the vision onto the Raptors, or onto the red buff, to basically make it so that there's tracking on the top side, and some safety for Ozzy to get aggressive. That kind of, you have to feel, is the way PSG should start. They do have the Raptor ward. So, and what do you know? Zed starting on the bottom half of the map for the wraparound response. Similar sort of thing coming out from Junjai, who's going to go Raptors probably into red buff, or red buff into Raptors. The kind of organized start of a jungler. Now, as the minion waves start to hit, the reason Renekton is so late to the wave is he got a cheeky ward onto the blue buff, and he knows kind of he is the target for the two teams to realistically be fighting against. As Loud, they've kind of prepped a little bit to deal with it. Now, I personally like that. You do delay your XP, or your early game XP, so you're giving up level 2 first. But you are, in theory, in a better position coming into level 3 onwards, as it's actually going to be a fairly decent trade between the top laners. Meganar going to come through, so it's going to keep Ozzy in fairly decently health position. However, obviously, Robo can heal up with the Call of the Meek. And so, top side, fairly even overall. There's a good seismic shove there. Forces Maple back. That minion wave is just being demolished already by Tanoin. He wants to secure an early push to allow his jungler to make these sorts of roams. As the further up he is, it's easier to do this. And we said about the early play, it's actually going to be Loud going for it. Just a clean tower dive. Straight through with a flying drag. That was a waste of a flash there by Croc. He knows it by how he reacted. And in the end, this should be advantage to Junjai, who's just going to be able to farm up a lot more quicker than what the Sedge has. Already up 8 CS. So that jungle advantage is going to grow. And while, yes, First Blood goes over to Robo, the guy I've been touting as the carry for Loud, you have to feel that this Sejuani is going to fall behind quite quickly to a Jarvan who, relatively speaking, is a big threat in terms of AD damage. And with how he's pathing, it kind of looks like, or feels like, he's already trying to look for early plays. He's trying to subdue this Sedge, especially steal away all those Raptors. He's a basically 10 CS, so a full minion wave on his counterpart. Bot side, the interesting thing. Now, while we discussed the fact that we kind of expected the junglers to be pathing top, another sort of giveaway that was the idea from PSG is the fact that Wacko has gone cool start. If you know me, I'm a cool connoisseur. Always talk about that item whenever I see it. So he's just expecting to farm his bot side. A little bit of an engage. Ignite use. Rakan ticking in the jungle. Jarvan has caught out his counterpart. Up so much CS. Gets the flash. Gets the kill. Continuing to trade. Looking for the double. It's going to be flashed out there by Croc. And in the end, Junjai dies to rout. But it was a close fight, as Summoners burnt off of the support and also off of PSG's jungle. Now this tower dive could be threatened. Rakan's very low. He can't exactly protect his ADC. Rout is going to have to probably back away to safety, take a reset, knowing full well that PSG have control in the spot lane. And that, you have to feel, comes from this Jarvan. Iron Spike quit in his inventory right now, as essentially we watched this level 3 dive come through. As soon as the Gnar jumps, he's not really got an escape tool. He doesn't waste his flash because he knows he's dead. Unlike Croc, who burnt his flash for no reason, and here he can't escape because he doesn't have flash. If he had flash, he could definitely have flashed to the safety of the tower and probably, I say probably, escaped. Junjai unlucky there because he almost got the kill onto Seos. Didn't come through as topside. Already seeing a trade. Rel is up here trying to protect the Gnar. Mega Gnar is going to come out in almost a second, and the Gnar lands onto the Rakan, who's getting stunned up. Is able to battle dance back to his jungler, but the Pop Blossom combination with the Jarvan just deletes the health bars of the Loud players. It is going to be a 2. Will it be 3? No. It's just a 2-for-nothing trade. Loud falling apart, you have to feel, in this early game. And you've got to give credit to the Robe, as well as the damage and ability to combo that Loud aren't able to deal with. PSG doing wonders on the map, and you have to credit Junjai's pathing and his positioning for this advantage. As Rel, hiding in the fog, is spotted. Does mean that blue buff is kind of known to have been taken, as Sivir pops the ultimate, looking to go aggressive. Obviously, Wacko does have the Feather Storm if he needs to pop it. But here is Jarvan. Cataclysm forces the flash out from Rout. That is a summoner spell burnt for basically nothing. PSG continuing to mount pressure on the bot side, even though they're giving up pressure in the top. Herald should fall here in literally 2 seconds. And PSG need to do a bit more riding in the top lane. Sure, you've invested, got some kills into Junjai, but the Na is 1 and 3. Sure, he's also farming with the cull in the back pocket. But right now, the game is a steady one. And Junjai, please don't just smite it. Cataclysm, nah, comes through. Renekton is taken low. He's able to get back to safety. Pot Blossom flashed out from by both the jungle and the mid. But the nah, he lands the boomerang. Renekton getting chunked out. He's got the call on Meek available, so he probably won't fall. Re-engage could be an option as Sedge gets spotted. Not going to go for it. Instead, just backs away. You could see that happening a mile away. The fact the steal was so clean as well. It's disappointing if you're a Loud fan. But very, very good for PSG. Because Junjai played this early game incredibly well. Right position at the right time, once again, I need to reiterate. As he's just done work as topside, nah, able to mega it out if he needs to. Does have his ulti, so if Renekton did overstep and get caught there, probably would have resulted in the kill. As this, not even on vision, he's not even pathing to it, he's pathing top to make a play. In the end, he just spots it. Q, flag and drag combo. It was basically auto smite there that secured it. And now, PSG sitting comfy with a 1k gold lead. Obviously, not the most gold lead advantage we've seen at 10 minutes into the game as flag drag comes through. Cataclysm and smite to follow. That is a rooted Tinoans and he just dies where he stands. Big kill on mid lane of Loud. As you now put him in a difficult position. This mid wave getting pushed in, ready to crash in. They're not going to threaten the Herald. They're trying to get away with it. Realistically speaking, you could invest a Herald and get the turret plates. But Nico going to get probably one out of it. And then path down to protect her team who are securing this Drake. That is realistically the goal from that play. And they are able to get what they want for free. They haven't lost anything to make any of those plays. So Loud aren't really taxing PSG. They're just allowing them to scale and get ahead. The snowball is forming at a rapid pace, considering how Junjai has been playing. He's just looking for ganks in the right place and right time. So you have to look at Croc here to go for a play in order to right this ship that is slowly sinking. Now, what I will say is PSG, they aren't really on a timer. Because I don't think the scaling is too heavily in favor of Loud. There is a slight advantage. However, I do think that the game, relatively speaking, will just be decided on gold. The gold diff, rather than champion abilities or scaling. As Sedge, caught in her own jungle, not going to die. Has a bit more resistance now. Almost getting the Sunfire Capers topside. It's just nah. Taking advantage of the trade patterns that Renekton has. Obviously is able to bully as Sedge. Rooted under tower. Ultimate going to be burnt out. As well as her flash. Basically PSG use their Herald. Crash it in. Get plates. And get everything they want as the crash down comes through. They get the kill onto Seos. As Maple is the benefactor of that one. Now this bottom half jungle is theirs. They're just going to clear out the vision. Possibly go for a play as Sivir tags onto Junjai. But he doesn't care. He goes down to the bot side. He provides a bit of cover for Wacko to allow him to crash the wave in. He then is just going to steal away this blue buff. And the Sedge can't really do anything. She hasn't got enough power. Maybe she gets a smite steal. But that opportunity isn't afforded to her. And so, into this kind of wallowing farm is Croc forced into, as this is just a great pick overall. As mid lane, Nico stepping forward, going aggressive, flag and drag comes through. Nico taken below a half of HP, TP burnt by Robo to protect his mid laner. The disengaged tools that PSG have here really are benefiting them, as kind of a missed flag and drag combination comes through from Junjai. It kind of felt like he wanted to go in there, but obviously not going to overstep is my thoughts. I think that was technically deliberate and not an accidental miscue of the abilities. I think he just wanted to get the most damage possible, really. As we slow the game down, 14 minutes in, gold lead sitting across 4 members of PSG. Only the top lane is where we see Loud have some semblance of control. Now, what I will say is PSG are going to possibly try to shut Renekton down. But this collapse coming through from Loud kind of is trying to deny it. They want to keep Robo in the side lanes with that advantage that they've secured. With the top lane being in favor of Loud, they're able to go to this Herald, secure this one after Javan was obviously chunked very low. Mid lane, though, is where we're going to see PSG at four-step pressure. Same on the bottom half of the map. So PSG playing on 2 lanes while giving up Herald and a bit of pressure in top side. This is kind of good for them. Like, don't get me wrong. It's decent for Loud to possibly get a guaranteed turret kill if they're able to use the Herald efficiently, as Junjai spotted is going to just throw out the combo. Oh, yeah, it definitely looked deliberate as he flag and drags through. The Cataclysm comes through. Sivir forced to flash once the Rel re-engages, but that quickness does so much damage. But in the end, the Rel is going to fall. Rout is able to secure that one for himself. Topside also sees the tower falling. PSG also lost their bot lane tier 1. So a lot of towers just fell right there. But PSG, I think, are the ones on the back foot. This is looking like second Drake being traded for the tier 2 top. So a lot of gold's going to go into the back pocket of Tanoans. However, Narcy... Oh. Yikes. No one saw it, Azzy. You're not playing in an international tournament in front of thousands of fans. But no, this is one of those games that Loud are doing okay in trying to right the ship, as Renekton, Dominus procced, flashing forward, locked up, knocked up, into the air goes Azzy. Bit of an over-commitment with the teleport there is Tanoans, but it's there to protect, because they know this Javan, this fed Javan, was coming down. And you have to kind of play protective for him. As, let's be honest, Gordring at this stage of the game gonna heal and give a chunk of health to Junjai, and you know he's very good at this champion. As we watch this mid fight, essentially Cataclysm, and then he's not going to flash there Sivir until the Magnet Storm crash down comes through from the Rel. Once that sort of commitment is given, he's then going to use a flash, then just he's able to throw out so much damage with the boomerang tosses. Then the bot side, Azzy playing a little too aggressive, knowing or thinking he can outplay Robo, but he falls, and in the end, that means Loud are able to just reassert some control on this game. They got a couple of towers, and you have to think this mid lane, while the Nico is sitting 2-0-2, that Sedge ult goes wide. This is possibility. There's possibilities here for a fight. PSG invading into the jungle, clearing out vision. Very early, to be honest, but obviously 2 minutes on the clock till the next Drake, as Renekton, Dominus Prop, Pot Blossom used by Nico to try and disengage, as well as a TP being invested. Nara's here, forcing the damage down, stacking up autos. He's nowhere near going mega. He's exhausted, but in the end, it's a 5-man collapse from PSG, and the shutdown goes through to the Xayah. A big kill, as a lot of gold has been transferred into, relatively speaking, a very quiet Wacko in this game. Now here comes PSG 4v5, TP invested here by Maple to try and get a play. Flash used by Seos to escape, as in the mid lane, Nico taken low. The flag and drag combo comes through from the Jarvan, and that's a shutdown everyone wants. Down goes Sivir, and hi, bye to the Rakan. Seos falls as well. That's the 3-0 in favour of PSG. And the map control returns to them. Let's slowly break this down and talk about the intricacies of that. Essentially, PSG try and speed up the tempo. They get the pick onto the Renekton, but this is essentially Sedge getting caught out early. Force flash, and he's just chased by Rel, forcing him away. Now the flag and drag is such a great combo because it has such a low cooldown. So Junjai is just able to keep throwing it out, keep knocking people into the air, and with it he's able to secure the kill onto Sivir. Obviously, for some reason we don't get to see the other 2 kills, where Seos just is chased down by Wacko. And on the top, well, in the top lane, it's just Renekton getting pinned in by 5 members. That led to the other 2 kills coming through, because man advantage always favours the team that has the extra man. Simple as. And PSG are able to push their advantage. Loud? Now grouping up, the crash down comes through. They're looking to get onto route. He will not be routed. Instead, it's Woody who falls. PSG maybe getting a bit too cocky. They want to go for this Infernal Drake, but the TP flank comes through. The re-engage comes through, though, from Loud, as the massive Pot Blossom lands onto 2 members. But PSG are winning this fight. 3 kills. 2 kills. 3. I'm right, I can count. 3 kills go over to them. They're looking for a 4th. Will not get it. Croc is dead, however, but which means this Infernal Drake will not be going through, or I would have thought it wouldn't go through. The real reason I don't think it would have gone through is because Junjai is still alive. Instead, he peels away. He's going up towards this Baron pit. As we watch this fight, essentially, overcommit from Woody. He sees the safeguard get burnt, so he thinks, oh, maybe I can get him. The shield's no longer there. He misses. He would have also been black shielded and flash cleansed. TP comes through from Robo and the Weaver's Wall. Sections or traps PSG in this fight, but because they get onto the Xayah, she dies quite quick. Similar sort of story with Maple's Nico getting bursted out. It just means PSG aren't able to fight, as their damage deals are gone. Now we sit at this game state, 23 minutes on the clock. The game relatively even. Yes, there's a 3k gold lead over to PSG. It's minimalistic, don't get me wrong. Like, it hasn't resulted in any big item diffs, other than probably in the jungle. I wish we could see the graph that shows the gold sways between each like lane, the MasterCard gold. I believe it is. But hey, a man can dream of having useful graphics appear when you need them. Or just having the LEC overlay. That would be useful as Robo. He's caught out. Renekton forced to go turn a little bit more aggressive. Jundrai is here. And he's just putting the poke down. On the flank is Arzi stacking up the Mega Charge as the Sedge ult comes through onto the Xayah. But this Wombo combo is absolutely insane from this Nico. 5-man Pop Blossom is resulting in the kills, somehow going over to Loud. What has happened here? It looked like PSG had won the fight. It looked like they could go to Baron. But somehow, some way, Brazil has found a way to fight back into this game. What just happened? It looked doom and gloom. Nah charging up the ultimate, but it's just the quicker engage. Xayah forced into her Feather Storm. Doesn't do too much early, but the feathers being pulled back look like mass amounts of damage. Then the stopwatches come through. Robo flashes on top of the Xayah, not allowing her to take part anymore, and Sivir, who was just free firing in that fight, just absolutely deleted 3 members of PSG. What an insane one. I personally think that was the most insane fight of Worlds that we've seen so far. And look at the AWS win probability. It's just switched dramatically over to Loud, who have the Baron right now. It's not being used effectively as they've not been able to get onto any tower yet. But Robo, he's free pushing bot side, but he could be caught out, forced into Dominus. He heals up, flag and drags, well, the slicing dice comes through. He's somehow staying alive, but that Cataclysm traps him in his demise. The re-engage comes through from PSG as that Pop Blossom hits onto 3. The Nah hits onto 2, and the Sivir is down. The damage dealers of Loud are gone, and PSG reign supreme once again on this map. A minute till this Infernal Drake. They've denied quite a lot of this Baron. They've done work here, PSG. However, the game is still even. Anyone can win this one. And personally, as supports just trading wars, oh, that's kind of funny. Watch this again. Robo just gets caught. Aggressive pathing, trying to get back to his team. TP also used by the Talia into a pretty bad spot in a flank position that's not very useful. This Pop Blossom 3-man ult just is huge from the Nico. Once you land it onto the Sivir, she's stunned forever. She'll get Nard and just fall. It's a great combo out from PSG to secure the kill onto arguably the biggest carry that Loud have. Route, very, very powerful right now. Obviously, he's known for getting big and large multi-kills. Obviously, the first pentakill of Worlds went to him. And he is arguably in a very dominant position. 6-2-4 versus a 3-2-1 Xayah. This is kind of impressive for him, as we're setting up for this Infernal Drake. Soul Point, if PSG secure it. Nah has megaed out, which is a bit of an issue for PSG, because it's kind of forcing them to go for plays. Half the timer has run out. And he is going to become exhausted literally right now. PSG need to kind of make a play. Nah's going to start to charge up the Mega Bar Once again, the Weaver's Wall, though, is going to be used. Junjai not going to be knocked back by the seismic shove. Nico just being a menace, throwing out the clone, trying to dissuade Loud from going aggressive, because Maple on these flank positions has been the difference maker with the Pop Blossom. So he needs to get this combo with the Jarvan, who is also looking to flag and drag his way to victory. Nah has the Mega Bar fully stacked up once again, is going to be forced to Mega out. The Renekton stun isn't going to be invested too heavily. Apologies for that. Anyway. I apologize once again. Anyway, Infernal Drake is started by PSG. They're going aggressive. The Gnar ult comes through, forcing Robo back. The Pop Blossom lands onto the Sivir. She's forced into status already. PSG getting the kill onto Rout. Routed where he stands. Wacko also kills off Robo. The damage dealers fall out of falling, and the chase down can come through. Junjai, he's continued to apply pressure. No one on Loud is allowed to live. All that is left is the Sejuani, who's forced to hightail it back to her base. And here comes PSG, going aggressive, all things considered, getting themselves pressure onto this map. I don't think they can end, especially considering how low these death timers are. You have to feel they're going to turn tails back to the Baron in a minute. They should probably get a reset once this inhibitor falls. And back to a very PSG favored game at this point. So we watch it again. It's just denying access to the pit. That's what PSG are doing. This Gnar ultimate forces Robo back. Over on this side, Croc is getting in range for it. And he goes in, he lands his ulti not onto the advantageous target of Wacko. It is actually going to go onto the support, who just is there to body block, basically. That's his goal. And the Rel just blocks it. Does avoid the seismic shove as well, so a good buffer there out from Woody. While that's happening, while Croc is trying to get onto PSG's backline, shall we say, Junjai is just securing the objective. He gets it, but this is Loud thinking they can win the fight. The fact is, 3 members of PSG are sectioned off. It's just Maple and Junjai going into the 4, possibly 5 Loud members. Now, Robo, he does a smart thing here. He goes into these 3 to try and keep them away. Maple goes for the aggressive play with the Pop Blossom. Only gets it. And this is a huge thing. This is a very huge, important thing. Junjai flag and drags. The flag itself pops the black shield on the Sivir. Meaning, this full combo is gonna hit onto Rout. So, he gets rooted by the Pop Blossom, knocked airborne by the drag of the flag and drag. And then he is just forced into status because he's essentially, he'd die instantly if he doesn't. Now, the issue is, Jarvan still has Cataclysm, and that is a massive bursting ult. Cleanse was also used there by Sivir. She does have Flash, but the flag and drag once again comes up. This cooldown is incredibly low, and so he's just able to use it on like a 2-second cooldown. He comes through once again, Cataclysm, Gore Drinker, executes off route. It's a very clean kill for Junjai, but what's more important, this is technically a 4v2 that goes in favor of PSG because they kill off route. Then you look at the damage dealers that are here. It's only really Tinoans who is slightly out. He's out the Cataclysm, which is fairly decent for a Talia. Maple goes into status to deny some damage put down onto him as well, which is clever. It means that these burly frontliners can't get a stun combo onto her. And so, while yes, Maple falls, Junjai is just able to buy time for his CDs to come back off once again. And he goes through Flag and Drag, forcing flashes. And Tinoans, he has to be the target. He's always a target. Once Rakan uses a W, there's no real threat onto Junjai to be stunned up. Like, instantly stunned up. So he flashes it and continues to hit onto this Talia. Full burst combo. Now the entire PSG squad are back in. They were scared off by Robo, who clamps back in terms of he died. He clamps back to his fountain. And Loud, while in a dominant position in a 4v2, loses the fight because Junjai is just that strong. You look at his items, he's got Spear of Sojourn. So that ulti cooldown is so massively decreased. I say ulti cooldown. His normal ability cooldowns are massively decreased. He's also got a decent set of spell CDR. What was that Sedgel, by the way? It was like a massive whiff, to say the least. Now PSG get to apply pressure onto the map. And you know, personally, I think they're going to pivot over to this Baron, fight, and then win the game. That's how simple it should be. I'm actually surprised Ozzy has gone Hull Breaker here. He's really needs to be with the team because he is part of the mass combo. But here's the fight we expect. Loud TPing in, the Baron already secured by PSG. Croc taken incredibly low, force the flash out of the pit. As on the bottom half, the Rakan goes in when the engage, the quickness is used, and he dashes back to safety. Loud on the retreat, but Junjai, he's looking to chase him down. He's already targeting Robo, knocked up into the air. Wacko gets the kill. What a Gnar ultimate. Gets to Noint, gets himself a killing spree, and the chase comes through from PSG. Junjai once more, forcing more and more out from Loud. They're not able to slow this momentum that PSG have. They're not able to deny this PSG aggression. A 2-man Nico ultimate would have happened there if the stopwatch didn't come through. And the rampage for this Gnar, who has had quite a quiet game, finally finds some success, gets a double kill, and gets this Nexus as his prize. PSG head to match point, head to series point, and absolutely dominate a second half of game number 1. Pretty much, when you talk about this game, you need to mention Junjai. Just absolutely dumpstering his opponents from the early game. He gets an early kill onto the Sedge, then begins to deny CS from his opponent. And it means that they're unable to play. It means that when he goes for these objectives, there's no contest. He can steal them away. It's just that damn different that makes PSG a lot better than their opponent. And I think what we saw in this game kind of outlines how PSG step up in series and how well they actually team fight. Like, surprisingly in the mid game, there was that one fight that gave an advantage to Loud for about 2 minutes. The fight looked PSG favoured, but ended with Loud winning. And you kind of have to think, how does that happen? Simply put, if you shut down one member of PSG, like Wacko, who was the consistent damage in the backline, then PSG can't get to the points in the game where they're just doing this with 2 members killing off 4. It's just not feasible if that ripple-on effect doesn't exist. But hey, that's going to be that for Game 1. We've got Game 2 to quickly look at. And personally, we're GOLing it for Game 2. I think we'll look at one fight, don't get me wrong. But we do have another series tonight. And that does take precedence over the other series. So here we go. It was a PSG win. Let's discuss draft. So Loud went to blue. I like that trade. So PSG on red, ban Desire. I like that. They remove safety. It does put Loud in a difficult situation, because Sivir is the only safe pick. Route goes towards that option. However, the response is a Kaiser, so it's more poke orientated. Surprisingly, LeBlanc comes through for Maple. I didn't really think we'd see much of this champion at this tournament, but people tend to go for it for some reason. Looking at the rest of the builds, a Malphite that's been absolutely dominated. A lot of domination across the top 3 members of Loud. Wow. Wacko went 11-0 on Kaiser. It's not even burst AP Kaiser or Dustblade Kaiser. It's just Kraken. It's normal AD Kaiser. 4 full items. Yeah, that looks scary. Soul also picked up by PSG, so it did go quite long. Wow. I'm actually amazed, to be honest, by how these games have gone. Let's have a look at the timeline. Maybe this still shows. Actually, I want to quickly check the summary graph here. Oh, it's just a constant build of an advantage by PSG. Okay, it's a snowball. Yeah, that's snowbally. I can't really focus on a fight. There's nothing there. 22 minutes is 4 kills between 3 members. They kill Arzig, so they get Baron. 27 minutes just looks like an absolute mob cleanup. I think 12 minutes probably is going to be the best fight to look at, all things considered. What's the timer? 6 minutes, so another 6 minutes, so 20 on the clock-ish. There. Okay, so bot side, got 3 members hovering. Rel just catches Alistar, who goes aggressive onto Viego. Bottom half of the fight, Croc goes aggressive. Heartbreaker out, Jundrai forced to run and flash. Slicing Maelstrom makes a difference. It's a better TP. And then 2 members dead already. It's just easy cleanup. That's the base way to break down that fight. Malphite doesn't overcommit or commit at all. He doesn't really have any resistance other than Merc Treads. So Loud as a whole just overcommit into a situation that's not advantageous. Yeah, we watch it again. Seos just oversteps. He goes onto the Viego but doesn't get to do much. Kha'Zix goes onto the Kaiser and she just positions better. Flash out also avoids the Nico combo. Slicing Maelstrom immediately out from Cannon. That fight was clean from PSG. It just responded better as LeBlanc. Rooted. She's dead. Unless she has Distort. There you go. That was honestly a very good fight from PSG. In terms of positioning correctly, dealing with the right threat, and then just honestly buying time for the TP. That was very well executed, and probably the biggest reason why they won that fight. Let's get into... I'm gonna quickly check something to end out this half of the stream, I guess. Because it is a half, to be honest. We've got the other games to break down, the Wales series, which you'll see very soon. Not standings, pick'ems. I want to quickly do a pick'ems check at the end of this one. I'm also going to put something warmer on. So PSG making it out is kind of very obvious at this stage. They've done very well. BDS, a bit of a difficult situation. Crystal Ball picks. Let's have a look-see at these. Reverse sweeps, we haven't seen any, I don't think. That'll be best of 5s though, so we haven't seen any. Longest single game, 43. What does GOL say? Because I think it's longer. I'm pretty sure it's longer. It's shorter. I'm still in with a chance. Pentakills. Well, that's already happened. So I'm currently winning that one. Don't know that one yet. Clouds is winning. That one was obvious. Baron Steals, I don't know how many there have been. Who's been playing most different roles? I haven't seen many picks. I mean, Jace has been played. Picks and bans, we'll have a look. I mean, Maokai's been played. I mean, there's been flexes. Like, mid lane flexes that have been insane. Nico has been flexed quite a bit. Actually, has it? I thought it'd been played in the bot lane. In support, sorry. But that was in the qualifying series. That was Huhi. Yeah, there's not been many flex. Oh. Maokai is technically winning. Yeah, Maokai is winning that one. Unless there's been a Jace game top. There has not. So it is Maokai technically right now. I'm not winning that one. I thought I would do. With Syndra. I thought that was a very smart pick. But the actual answer, the most picked champion is Rakan, is it? Please tell me I'm right with Rakan. No, it's Renekton. Renekton's in there. Rumble also up there with presence. Oh wait, that's just top. There you go. Most picked champion is actually Rakan. I am right. Syndra is nowhere near. She's actually 36%. Who will be banned most during World's Champion Selects? Bans. Maokai. Yeah, that makes sense. Who will have the most total deaths at Worlds? Deaths per minute. DPM probably will... No, it's damage, not deaths. How do I see deaths? Which champion has the most death during this tournament? That is... Darius, maybe? No, it's only got 1 KDA. I don't know how to check that one. Maybe it is. Who will have the highest win rate at Worlds? Who currently has it? Darius LeBlanc. Nocturne. It's quite a few options. Jace is one of them. I picked Rel, and she has 57%. I think that'll change once it goes into the next phase. We can't see any of these just yet. That is technically true. Like, PSG winning puts them furthest for now. It's just my opinion. But hey, gonna end it here. We do have a stream in a couple minutes I need to get changed and do. See you guys then. For, what is it? What series am I breaking down next? There's an easy way to check. We will be breaking down CFO in Wales.